What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
We're back, brand new episode. It is, what's today's date? June
3rd.
June 3rd. It's Thursday, 2021. Want to remind you guys, Complex 10, code Complex 10 for Bravus Brewing Company. That's what we're drinking today. Oatmeal stouts.
Delicious stout.
Non-alcoholics for all you pansies out there.
Yeah.
Like Tomas. Tomas, we have a guest in studio today.
Hello, everyone.
Our friend Tomas. Just chilling, hanging out.
Just chilling and hanging out, having some beer.
Yeah.
Some non-alcoholic beer.
Some non-alcoholic. I know we're not going to feel shit, but it's great. Great stuff. Use Complex 10, the code, and get 10% off your order. You can mix and match all the different flavors and get it free shipping.
Yeah, and if you're not into like alcoholic drinks, or if you're against alcoholic drinks, or you have a friend that's on the wagon, you can have them drink some of this stuff and get 10% off of your order.
Yep. Give your liver a break and all that. So we have a lot to get to today. No fights last weekend.
No,
That's
well,
quiet.
just the tough premiere, but I don't know if that's
Okay. Well, you talk about the tough premiere because I didn't watch it, but
yeah, I mean it was tough.
basically bakes it.
Yeah,
like,
I think the only difference between this episode, I mean, this season versus other seasons is that have the Apex Center now where they fight out of.
Yeah.
I think Dana White isn't the focal point as he was in the previous seasons.
Yeah,
and pretty much it. Fights are good though.
And Ortega and Volkanovski are the coaches.
Right.
How does the lineup like of the fighters? How did they look?
Good. I think
a lot of them look small. You said it was middleweights though, right?
Middleweights and bantamweights. And then the bantamweights, I think there's one guy that's like under 5 feet or about 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's like a flyweight almost.
Like just looking at them, then nobody stood out to me that was like, oh, they look like they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
I think the biggest guy that I've seen is the Andre. I think his name is Andre. He actually fought. He's on Team Ortega and he won. He's a Division 1 wrestler.
Yeah.
I think he went like 105 and 15 in his college career.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he was good. He ended up winning the fight.
Any was it different from the other seasons because this one's obviously like a COVID season?
Just the Apex Center and Dana White isn't a vocal point.
No. And what about the drama?
No drama yet.
No drama yet.
But they just showed like the whole season, like after the first episode, like a little tease. There's some drama, but not too bad.
Yeah. Hey, Tomas, did you ever watch Ultimate Fighter? It's like the reality show with MMA and coaches and stuff like that. It's kind of like the thing that kicked off every like popularity with like non-fight fans. No, you never came across it.
Never got into it.
But did you know about it though?
Yes, I did, but I prefer the real kick-ass.
Oh, yeah, the fights.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, because the other stuff is this reality show. I think people are over it at this point.
I want to see blood on them.
Yeah. That's why I think Contender. They have one that's called the Contender series, and that is just fights, only fights.
Yeah.
And so without all the reality stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean the whole like concept and format is kind of but it's Ultimate Fighter, so it's what Dana wants.
Yeah. Your phone. But yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much all the fights that were last week and anything fight related.
Yeah.
This week, a lot of Logan Paul and Jake Paul stuff.
A lot of circus stuff.
Yeah. Where do we start? Where do we start? Which one do you want to start with first?
Let's save the Talon Willie for last. Talk about the Logan Paul and Mayweather.
Yeah. Okay. So Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul this weekend, right? The older brother.
Yeah.
Much bigger guy, almost like around the 200, 205 pound mark.
Yeah.
Fully, I mean, the guy's a physical, athletic.
So obviously
young kid,
so obviously this weight is going to be a catch weight, right?
It's a catch weight.
What weight is it? Because Mayweather is not a. He's not 200 fighter.
No. I'm not sure what the weight difference will be.
Maybe 170.
I don't even know what's his name.
Because I don't even
can cut that weight.
Yeah, that's a good.
I
mean, not that Logan Paul has a chance, but I'm curious to see what the weight class is going to be.
Yeah.
For that fight.
He wasn't over it. So Logan Paul's coming in at 190, but I think Mayweather's just gonna come in around whatever 150, 160. I mean, he's not gonna be anywhere close to 190.
Wasn't
There's gonna be a
it's an
difference for
exhibition
sure.
fight, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay, I was about to just ask that.
Yeah.
This has got to be an exhibition.
No, there's no.
This can't be no.
Yeah, because no commission would sanction that, right?
No,
Yeah.
there's a set of rules. Let me bring them up real quick. No, I think it's
Which is kind of unfortunate if you think about it, because if Mayweather just lose and he has all the excuses in the world to back up why he lost.
yeah,
I seriously thought it's gonna happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think no judges, no official winner. Knockouts are allowed. I think it's 12-ounce gloves. Three.
No winner.
No winner. Like if it goes to the full eight.
Oh, so it has to
there's-
be stopped.
It has to be stopped to
for
be
you to
an
a
official winner.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again. What?
And
Am I in for another 8-hour concert?
no, this is Showtime. So there won't be any. There's no what Triller. Triller did put on the other fights.
Mhm.
They did all these concert stuff in between each fight. This is with Showtime Boxing, so it's gonna be legitimate, like boxing setup. So, but yeah, as far as the rules and regulations, that's. Let me see. KO up to the referee's discretion. So if they don't feel that the fighter got rocked and he
Like a
is
stand-up TKO,
yeah,
pretty
stand up
much.
TKOs up to the ref. Three 8-minute rounds, or eight
Eight 3 minute
three-minute
rounds. Yeah.
knockouts are legal. 12-ounce gloves, no headgear, no judges, no official winner at the end if there isn't a stoppage. So it's an exhibition fight. So
Exhibition fight.
yeah.
God, I miss the glory days of boxing.
But I mean, it's fun. I mean, these things kind of happen all the time. It's nothing new to boxing, nothing new to combat sports.
I
freak
just
show
wish-
fights.
I just wish that Mayweather could make up his fucking mind whether he's retired or not.
When you have paydays like this, where it's
Yeah.
just a quick, he probably views it as an easy payday.
Yeah.
Fighting a non-boxer. We'll see. But this is I don't know. What do you think? There's chances
think it's
of Logan Paul fighting Mayweather, considered probably
I
the
mean, I think
best
it's a shit show.
boxer of all time.
I feel strongly about that. I think it's a shit show, like just like the Jake Paul and
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley fight. Just say with Mayweather, I think he should make up his mind. Is he going to continue to fight or not?
Yeah.
I think jumping in and out, but like many fighters did it anyway. But
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be fun, or I should say interesting. But I'm not into it.
I think it'll be interesting. The size difference, the youth difference, the
Just 'cause,
athleticism of Logan Paul.
Yeah,
The boxing of 4 years of hardcore boxing training and like enough money to put a legitimate camp and trainers
Mhm.
around you, may give him somewhat of a fair fight against a much smaller, older Mayweather. I don't know. Could it? It's a fight game. I mean, things
Yeah.
can happen. I guess that's why people are trying to watch.
but I think with me, it's like there's no reward at the end of the fight, whether you win or lose, because it's a division. There's nothing at stake.
Yeah.
So
No.
it doesn't make it fun, I guess, quote
No.
unquote.
For Logan Paul is obviously bragging rights. That's
Yeah.
what I think is what the whole event is called. For Mayweather, no, you're risking humiliation if you get caught with something. I mean,
But like I said, like one, I don't think that's gonna happen. Two, he has all the excuses in the world to say, well, I lost because of his size, because of the rules.
yeah.
So
And how bad would it be from a casual standpoint
From a casual standpoint, it would be
Be-
devastating for Mayweather.
for Mayweather? Just
Yeah, to get hit by a big blow, you get rocked in front of the whole world.
by
You're running.
by a young
Just
YouTube kid.
running around the ring.
Yeah, by a YouTube kid, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That would be super humiliating.
And
But is it really? Because I mean, Logan Paul's so much bigger, so it's expected.
kind of, but but because of the experience discrepancy, I mean, it's kind of like it shouldn't happen.
But it shouldn't. But it's a fight, and
But it's a fight.
in a fight, anything could happen. Anybody
Yeah.
can get caught, whether you're a Mayweather or you're or Logan Paul.
I think for somebody like for someone like a Tyron Woodley, who we'll get to, I think it hurts his legacy and like hardcore fight fans.
I think his legacy is already
Perspective.
tarnished with that before this fight.
Yeah, but as far as the casuals, I don't think they're going to care too much. I think maybe like Tommaso isn't like a big fight fan.
Yeah.
I mean, not like you don't watch it. That's not the only thing you watch. You watch other sports.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Mayweather losing is a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
Way bigger deal.
Just because Tyron doesn't have a quote unquote name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you were given $100, what would you put your money on?
With these set of rules, I mean Mayweather.
Mayweather. Yeah.
He's got a lot to lose.
Yeah. I don't know.
A lot to lose, so he's not going to tarnish his reputation.
Yeah. And do you see it going the full distance, or do you see it ending early?
No, distance.
Distance, yeah.
No way it's ending early.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. This is Sunday.
Because is Mayweather going to stop him? No. Can't even
he
stop
doesn't-
his people in his own weight class. And
Yeah,
two, do you see Logan Paul stopping Mayweather? I don't
No.
think that's going to happen either. So,
I
decision.
don't see him landing anything clean enough to stop him.
No. For either fighter.
Yeah. At least Mayweather has the technique to maybe land something and maybe rock him a little bit. But
Now, but when Paul brothers win this weekend, that'd be crazy, right?
yeah. Well, I think with Tyron Woodley and Jake, I think that one's later in the summer, and then Logan and Mayweather is
Okay.
Sunday. It's a Sunday fight. Do you like it? Do you mind the Sunday fights? I never.
No, not
They
at all.
don't really ever do Sunday fights.
No.
No. Not bad. Yeah, I don't mind.
And
the
people are
Sunday fight.
usually home on
Yeah,
a Sunday.
yeah,
I
there's
think
nothing to
people
do on
are
Sunday.
more out on Saturday than Sunday.
You never really see them, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
how that will affect pay-per-views
That's
and eyeballs.
That's wrestling's model, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday
Yeah.
pay-per-views.
August 28th is the set date, which may change, I think, with Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul, which got announced this week. Tyron Woodley, 4-time, 5-time UFC champion in the welterweight division. He's pretty much at the end of his career at this point. He just let go of the UFC, by the UFC too, because he 4 straight losses? Yeah. He's approaching 40. Is pretty much a long career. Had a dominant reign, and has out of his last 4 or 5 fights has won maybe 1 round, and they're all 5-rounders. So he lost almost a total of 20 rounds in his last 4 or 5 fights. Thoroughly getting dominated, not knocked out, other than the last one. The last one he did get knocked out, but it was kind of like a firefight.
It's
They're trading back and forth.
of Tito Ortiz.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Jake Paul picking Tyron Woodley at this point in his career is smart for him, because Tyron is long in the tooth in terms of his fighting career. He's pretty much had been retired already. He hasn't shown any kind of will to engage with his competition in any of his previous fights and losses, most recent ones. And so it's not the same Tyron that would have been maybe 5 years ago or something like that. It's not the same Tyron.
Right.
That Tyron, I think, would have been the obvious favorite over even a guy like Jake Paul, who is training nothing but boxing. And Tyron has a long kind of history of training in boxing, and a very successful college wrestler, and obviously a UFC champion. So, at this stage in his career, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, you would hate to say that, but it's a different. It's not the same Tyron Woodley in my eyes. And
No, you're completely right.
And I don't know if he hasn't shown the will to engage and fight. Actually, engages with this competition in his previous UFC fights. Most recent ones.
That's separate because the wrestling factor.
But I don't know if he's going to bring that kind of, is he going to bring that lack of intensity in his last few fights into something like this?
I think it's 2 separate things. I think the reason why he didn't engage during his MMA tenure is because of the wrestling.
because there's so much other things to think about.
Yeah, you got leg kicks to worry about. You got the ground game to
Yeah.
worry about, and it was tentative to kind of throw hands.
Yeah.
Now he's never really thrown hands before. Anyways, he primarily depended on his wrestling for most of his fights.
But he's got good hands and he's got knockout power.
Yeah, he's very fast.
He's put out many guys.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah.
Fast hands. Powerful. I don't know. I don't think he's really. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he's taking guys out like Darren Till most
Yeah.
recently, probably his last big win,
hmm
knocked him out.
But I don't see him beating Jake Paul.
No, he's never been a primarily a stand-up fighter. He's been an all-around mixed martial artist for the most part. But he's got hands and he's got power and he's got like especially an overhand right that just takes guys out like like
Yeah.
nothing. So, but he's not that guy anymore in terms of like it's at this point. It happens to all fighters. They kind of just lose that step.
Yeah,
And
father
he's-
age.
he's lost that step,
Mhm.
and we've seen it time and time again. I hope that he can find some type of,
I just hope that these damn MMA fighters just stay away from this shit. It's especially former champions like Tyron Woodley.
yeah, because they
They're just looking for the
they're just looking for the
Yeah.
payday, and I think this is what it is. Is they've been professional fighters and at the highest level, and compared to other athletes, not making that kind of money that they should be.
it's nickels and dimes
And-
compared
yeah.
to boxers. Yeah,
And so when you got a guy like Jake Paul who come in and is offering them the biggest payday of their careers,
but see, with Tyron, it's different because
forget my forget my legacy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
about it.
yeah
I mean, that legacy's been
Yeah.
Fight Jake Paul.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm getting paid as much as like 2 or 3 fights put together. So it's like
See, with him, it's different because he has that TMZ job. Like, why would you do you really need it?
that's the same with like Ben Askren when he took it. It's like you have like these schools, you have like your podcast. I think that's all
I
gonna
can
be.
see Askren doing it.
That's gotta be affected though. If let's say he's got to definitely lose some attenders at his wrestling schools because you got to think some dads are gonna be like, nah, fuck that guy. He doesn't even know how to fight.
Well,
I'm you know what I mean? Like
I don't think so. I think
no,
because it's
I
a
think
wrestling
so.
school. It's not a boxing school. It's a wrestling school.
I know, but like he's already kind of burned his name.
I don't know. I think that he's Askren's it's a high level wrestler, and I think
Yeah.
people understand that. And I mean, if I
We
don't
do.
know boxing,
We do.
yeah.
But I don't know about like someone like Tomas. I
No,
don't know if he
no,
knows.
but I'm talking about like people who.
Beat him with one leg.
I'm talking about people who want to go to a wrestling school
Yeah, that's
to
true.
learn wrestling.
That's true.
People that go to wrestling schools already know who the top dogs in wrestling is.
And I've seen a compilation of Jake Paul's like sparring sessions, and the kid is. Yeah, he's
at what point is he gonna stop calling out MMA fighters and start calling out
Real box.
like
the real boxers.
at least top 15 guys?
Well, I think he's on the road right now. He's got a 3 or 4 fight deal with Showtime.
because a lot of people see him as a joke
Yeah, but
because of that.
this is the
Like De La Hoya.
I can see that happening.
Yeah,
See that happen.
This is the necessary step to head into that direction because it's you're fighting a legitimate combat sports athlete outside of their normal kind of discipline. So instead of calling out somebody that has like that's all they focus on. So it's a necessary progression, but he can't go back after this. I think Tyron Woodley. You go Tyron Woodley.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, you can't go Tyron Woodley and then go back to like another celebrity.
No, I'm saying like if you're gonna be in boxing, then why call MMA fighters? You should be calling to your own sport.
I know because
It makes no sense calling out guys with MMA. You're gonna fight by the rules. You gotta fight by the boxing rules. So what's the point of doing that? If your head's in the boxing game, then you fight or you call out boxers out. You don't call MMA guys out
because
that makes no sense to me. It doesn't make no sense at all.
Strategy.
it's a strategy. It's smart money.
Strategy.
You fight somebody who's
I mean, yeah,
legitimate athlete.
Yeah, I mean, business wise, I can see why he's
Yeah.
doing it. I mean, because
Yeah.
he's fighting names versus top 15 guys in boxing. I mean, like no one knows about.
You're fighting other combat sports athletes
Yeah.
that there are a name that could give you that popularity
Mhm.
and legitimacy without
Yeah.
having to risk a loss.
Right.
So
Fight Canelo.
yeah. Do you think that'll ever happen?
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
I think he's in to collect money.
He's going to degrade himself that way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
No.
Mayweather.
Well, Mayweather's a different story.
Yeah.
Mayweather's done and over with. That's a past chapter in boxing history.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about the present right now.
Yeah.
I don't think Canelo would degrade himself by.
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think he doesn't do this for paychecks. It's continue calling on these MMA guys.
Yeah. You think
And
someone
then
like
when he
Mike Perry or
makes-
something like that would be next?
I don't know. I hope not, but I think
Yeah.
he's just collecting his checks, and then when he makes enough money, then he's gonna avoid fighting actual boxers.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. I okay. The same question. $100. Who would you put money on?
Logan Paul. I mean Jake Paul.
Yeah, you put on Jake Paul.
Yeah.
To beat Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. What do you think?
Well, he's going to get paid no matter what.
He's gonna get paid no matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. With Tyron Woodley, he's gonna get paid no matter what. But this is like a legitimate.
It's a bigger payday than Jake Paul, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no, not a bigger payday than Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's gonna make more money, but it's a bigger payday. It's like a multi-million-dollar payday. So that's another thing, and that's a problem. I think it's more of a.
Paul, third round.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because Tyrone has fought in the MMA cage for so long and has utilized the boxing that's necessary for that environment.
Yeah, boxing, MMA boxing is completely different than regular boxing.
Yeah, so he's gonna really have to, get rid of all those habits that he's developed and go back
Because
to
the traditional boxing stand in MMA,
Yeah.
like your legs are open for leg kicks.
yeah, it's a completely different stance,
Yeah.
defense,
Mhm.
offense, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to
It's completely
adjust.
different.
You're gonna go back to adjust everything.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be difficult. That's why it was hard for Askren because he never really had to develop those skills because he was so good at wrestling that he just took people down and beat them up.
Yeah.
Tyron has actual, athleticism and boxing and power. So it's not gonna be that much of a learning curve for him. So it's just getting old habits,
Yeah.
MMA habits out of the way. I think because Jake Paul is so dedicated.
Mm.
He's athletic. He's bigger. He's gonna be bigger, and the guy's got some skills, and he's got he's got the money to give himself that education and catch up. And I've seen his highlight reels of his sparring, and I don't know at this stage in Tyron Woodley's career, with his motivation for doing it and what I've seen in the last 4 or 5 fights from him, I'm probably go with Jake Paul too.
Yeah. Safe bet.
which is sad to say, but it happens. I mean, he's choosing his opponents right, older, over the hill fighters,
Mhm.
and you other MMA fighters, and it's even better for him because that hasn't been their focus. Boxing hasn't been their main focus.
It should be a compromise. It should be
It's
like
like,
a kickboxing at least, right?
Yep.
A kickboxing competition.
and even if he fights a legitimate over the hill, boxer, it all depends on who. It's all like the matchups. I think, that's why Logan Paul, I think, has a good chance because he's so much bigger. So you can make up a little bit of that ground.
Nobody ever do an MMA fight, probably not.
Logan has talked about it, and he's kind of sparred and rolled around with Paulo Costa, and he's got some
Some skills.
He's got some skills, and he was a good high school and college wrestler. So
Okay.
he's got that well-rounded stuff, so he can bring it in. He says he wants to do one before he's done with all this.
Oh, good.
So, at least I think they'll both do it. I think so. And with Showtime, I can see them being like a
Jake too?
Bellator. Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
I think so. They're both like high school wrestlers, so they got that
I mean,
muscle memory.
Dizzy called him out, and he completely dodged him. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't
he's not
think
gonna
it's
do that
happening.
now. No, I don't see that now. Not now. They're gonna try to get their money with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So next up on the show, we have a guest. We have Brittney Elkins. She is fighting Clarissa Shields in her MMA debut on PFL's next event, June 10th. It's a big fight for Clarissa Shields, but also a big fight for Brittney Elkins because she's put in the position to spoil the debut of Clarissa Shields, who is a longtime top level, champion boxer. So this is going to be, different from what we were just talking about. You have a legitimate boxer
Going to MMA.
coming into MMA,
Right.
So, we're gonna see what happens. So, we're gonna talk to Brittney about that, and you guys enjoy.
All right, so June 10th on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus is fighting in the main event is our guest, Brittney Elkin, and competing against the debuting Clarissa Shields in the main event of UFC. I want to thank you, Brittney, for being on the show here, and it's a pleasure talking to you. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Good. I was just trying to make it quieter. I noticed that the window was open and it would be loud.
So don't worry about it. No, it's all good.
I'm feeling awesome. I feel really prepared for this bout. Just getting in my zone. I'm actually packing for Atlantic City right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, well, take me through what the next week has in store for you. What in terms of prep, in terms of traveling, in terms of training, last minute preparations. What's it look like for you the next week?
Well, I had a talented chef. He made all of my food. I'm very well prepared on all of my no salt meats and everything. I just picked that up here in New York City. I'm in Manhattan today. I'm headed to the gym at 10th Planet Bethlehem to just do one last, not really training, but just like a mental review of all of our checkpoints and what our list is and what we're thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm packing my car as we speak. I just took a break because I'm driving to Atlantic City. Since it's close enough, I just felt it appropriate. And
how far of a drive is that for you?
Well, tonight I'm going to Bethlehem, so that's like a 2-hour drive. Bethlehem is where I've chosen to camp. I've been driving back and forth, 2 hours there, 2 hours there, 2 hours there.
Oh,
2 hours there.
Wow.
I live in Manhattan and I'm driving to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania almost every day.
Okay, it's a commitment right there. Obviously, it's a big fight, so you know. What made you choose Bethlehem 10th Planet? Because I know you're obviously BJJ trained 10th Planet, but what made you choose that as your home base to make that 2-hour drive?
I was going to Unity. It's right next to here. It's a lot of incredible professional jiu-jitsu, a lot of sport jiu-jitsu. I wasn't finding a complete MMA camp. Not saying that they don't have it. For me, I really needed a gear specific camp for this is the biggest fight of my life. I wanted to take it really seriously. I was actually kind of drawing at straws when I already said yes. So like I'd already said yes to this. I'm like, do I go home to Elevation, a camp that knows me, or do I just start here? And I know a lot of the 10th Planet gentlemen and some of the females, but I just started going over there. They have more of an MMA geared practice. And then I met Zach Makovsky. And then I knew I was in the right place because we just started getting to work and like it just came together. I was like the camp chose me and I chose the camp. It was.
And overall, how long was the prep in terms of getting the call and then starting the camp? And how long were you in camp for?
We got the call on April 1st. And like, I was already training. Like I have to tell people I was getting ready for, at that moment, I was already going to the high rollers. It's like an EBI rule set in Las Vegas. So I was on my way to that. And so I was already like preparing for 10-minute rounds. The rule sets were obviously much different than MMA. And that one was on Pluto TV. I was committed to. So like when I was negotiating this contract, I was like, listen, I can't just like let this other one go because I had, even though it might not be the same caliber, I had investors in that one, and like control, of any fighters knows you go through your politics of every single fight, But I was in work right away. I really just stopped getting ready for EBI, took that as a hard jiu-jitsu day, but I was going right into MMA. I had a lot to catch up on. I hadn't done much striking or striking defense or sparring standing up on my feet in a long time, like other than like takedowns,
Okay,
I'm incredibly impressed at how well it came together. I'm very thankful for the energies of the world that did that. So
so as far as the rest of the week goes, you're going to be traveling to Atlantic City and then do some final training tonight. And then are you when does the final prep in terms of training start for you? Is it Monday? Is it, because you have media obligations?
I'm not doing any more training after tonight. Tonight's just review.
Okay.
We have a big long list. I'm a list person.
Yeah.
Zach made a bunch of incredible notes for the camp. We're gonna go note for note. We're gonna go down the list and be like, Brittney, because sometimes I'm an airhead. I mean, I have my own character. I know myself pretty well, and I'm in this fight. But yeah, it's just one more checklist, one more list as we've checked all our T's, I's, Q's. And also a finality to a camp, a closure to the camp is always good, so you know that you're prepared. We don't leave anything out, so we're kind of just doing that, and it's more of a mental, we did everything, Britt. We have an answer for everything. This is the best I feel the best I've ever been prepared.
I've seen your Instagram. You look like incredible shape. I mean, you always seem to be in incredible shape, but for this fight, did you kick it up a notch? Or?
I think, what I did for this fight? I stopped spinning so many plates. I'm a very, I'm a goofball, but I also have a lot of responsibilities. I do a lot of things on a tour. I do a lot of things in venue circuits and for promotions of other things.
Yeah.
And then I also wear a lot of hats. I'm a mother, and I have a lot of roles in life. I have a lot of jobs. So what I did right, I think that made me prepare my bodily physically, is stop spinning so many plates. I quit my job. I never have done that for one of my camps. Not Kayla, not anything. I had 2 jobs with Kayla.
Yeah.
I was working as a bartender, managing a bar. I probably even took a drink or 2 back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, no, I did. There's no probably about it. And then I was on tour. I didn't stop touring for Kayla's fight for 2 weeks until 2 weeks after fight, because that was my job. I don't have the luxury of having an income being a fighter.
And it's the story. Unfortunately, it's a story of a lot of fighters. Yeah,
So I had to. It's a reality, yeah. And again, I was bartending with Kayla. I was bartending with Bobby. I'm not in any kind of restaurant industry right now at all. I think that really helped me mentally. And the food you put in your body, everybody steals a French fry in the window.
Exactly.
You're the bartender. I was just disconnected on those kinds of things.
And you're working with Fight to Win, right? You were operations manager with Fight to Win. That was your other job?
Yeah, I've been with them for 5 years. So I've been, that's bookings 46 weekends a year.
Yeah.
Fighting
and competing. Working and competing.
So with Fight to Win, I'll be coming back. Well, I just moved to the East Coast on March 1st, but I would be fly from Denver to Dallas. Okay, we get there 8 a.m. Okay, guys, let's set up the show. The show needs to be set up by 5. We get the show set up.
Yeah.
I'm the will call girl also. I get, the 2,000 people in the door. Then I get 30 minutes to warm up, and then I'm on the stage.
Yeah.
So those are my days for that. And that's why I did so many. I'm 19-9 on that stage. And that doesn't even include my tournament on the stage matches. So I don't think I would have been even 19-9 if I didn't have to prepare the stage all day. I think I could have done a better, I could have been 29.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's true. I mean, when you're bouncing that many things, training, motherhood, 2 jobs, it's a lot to take in, it's a lot to manage.
So I feel because I quit fighting after Bobby. I quit doing MMA. I shouldn't say fighting. I quit doing MMA after Bobby. And then I don't know. I guess when I took this one on, I was if I'm gonna do this, I can't do all this shit.
Yeah.
I think losing to Kayla, the reality checks that happen when you're alone and you review what mistakes you made and why this happened. I'm not saying Kayla's not great. She won. This is not a mistake. She took my arm off almost. But I'm just saying that what got me to that and what got me to how comfortable I am here. I just recognize a lot of better decisions.
And those are simple life choices that you can probably eventually make depending on how you want to conduct your competitive career. And so as far as you talked about the injury, or you talked about the fight, your last fight, that was 2019, right? And then you had the arm injury, and you basically retired from MMA. Before that, you were doing about maybe 1 or 2 fights a year, right? At the most.
Yeah, probably 1 or 2.
In MMA. In MMA.
Yeah, MMA,
So,
MMA 1 or 2.
yeah.
Maybe in like my beginning amateur years, I was booking more, but at that point, yeah, I was only doing like picking them.
And I mean, going through that injury, making that decision to kind of call it quits from MMA, how hard was getting through that recovery process and then coming to that decision?
I had a friend reach out to me, MMA fighter in Colorado. He's a wonderful man, him and his wife. He knew I was leaving it because I was so emotional, man.
Yeah.
I was so emotional. You identify with these things, whether you want to say it's an identity or not. Like fighters are like, I'm a fighter. Like we go about our day every day. We're like, let's go do wind sprints. Let's go do this. We're fighters. We do this little identify with the fighter, and I think you could just read it all over my energy. I was in a sling in my arm. I was watching practice. And a peer of mine that's a black belt came over and just said, "Are you okay?" And it was leaving that, that's what I don't think I ever got across in any interview yet, is it was like, who am I? And who am I? What do I do now? Like, and I found this whole other life. It's not like I don't have anything. It's just you do this every day for 12 years. It's hard to disassociate, And I think that was the hardest part of coming back in, is when Ray called me, you got to swallow the pill 100% again. And
it's probably hard to say no to somebody like him, right? And to an organization like PFL, to just say no. You know what I mean?
I couldn't find a reason to. I couldn't find a way to say no. Like every time I was like, should I do this? I don't. This is the coolest part about this fight. I don't have to fight this fight. I chose it. And I can't even now. Like if I can't even now look and search in my brain for an excuse to say no, because it's so fucking cool. Like to be in this.
Yeah, main event, big fight. Big organization. I know. Not that many people get that opportunity. Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's because of Clarissa. It's not because everybody trolls on there.
Yeah, trolls online.
There's 2 people in this fucking fight. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm in this fight too, bitches. And I'm gonna I've done everything I can to prepare. You can hand a mechanic every single tool in the trade, and if they don't know how to use them, where does the tool go? So I feel very well prepared to use the tools wisely in this, and but this shit's hard. I can tell on all the videos I've watched them, so I just want to do little damage to me,
So she's obviously going to be she's going to have a lot of the attention on her. It's a high profile for her. All the pressure is basically on her. Is that to your advantage, or are you looking at it like that?
Don't you feel so?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel so. I feel like I knew that the day one. I was like, man, what's cool about this? I'm signed to 1 fight. She signed to 3 years. I'm signed to this. I get to just go in and out. I've already retired. It's not like, what I know, if I ever retire again, it's not going to be as bad as the first time. And I think I have a lot of experience in that. I have a lot of sound mind. I'm comfortable with. Yeah, I think I'm definitely, she has to answer all the questions. Like, she called out a bunch of people in the middle of this. She was fighting with the Nunez on Twitter with this, like, and I mean, that's a lot of talking. That's a lot of energy that I don't have to do. I'm like, oh, cool. My schedule's a little less.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Are you now with the media attention that this fight's probably going to get? Are you comfortable with doing that kind of thing? During fight week, because they're probably gonna, talk to you and ask you a ton of questions.
I already got my schedules. I'm totally comfortable with it. Usually I try to put that off to the very end. I think I did a pretty good job. I didn't reach out to people. I guess I'm not looking. If the media stuff I knew was going to come this week when I was locked in the motel, and so I was like, okay, I'll just deal with it then. I'm going to train every single opportunity I can. You know what I mean? On the other side. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with talking to people. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I get a little like heart racing. And I see a little excitement. I mean, Yeah, I'm gonna try to be the most professional because I want to stick to the game plan. I'm not gonna try to let the illusion take over.
Of who she is and what she's all about and what she brings to the table. Because we've seen this. Obviously, this is a, she's taking the time out to round out her skills, but she hasn't had a lot of time to do so. And she's got an extensive, obviously, high accolades in boxing, but this is obviously on paper striker versus grappler kind of
I know.
matchup.
What's cool in women's sports, like
Yeah.
that's the coolest part is like
Yeah.
we've seen it in men's sports. I mean, we've seen striker versus grappler in women's sports. It's neat.
It's neat.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to be Brittney Elkin right now. I promise.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah. And now as far as the matchups go with PFL, you've been called up twice to them. They haven't necessarily they've given you their top people. I mean, let's say what it is. You got Kayla Harrison, and then now you got Clarissa Shields. Obviously when you get a call from PFL, your first instinct is to say yes. And
no.
No? Okay, so there you go. That's my question is like when you get a call like from PFL and then they tell you we got Kayla Harrison, we got Clarissa Shields, they're not necessarily doing you a lot of favors in terms of building your career up the way you would basically want to do it. But it's kind of also hard to say no to these opportunities. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they did give me, I think they call me because I'm the girl that doesn't say no.
Yeah.
I don't do that just because PFL called. I look at this thing like champions really, really make other champions great, right?
Yeah.
Like Kayla has to be on top to get ready for, let's say, Cyborg or whoever she faces, whoever's the next number one, whoever she's the next number one.
Yeah.
She has to stay sharp. And I look at these fights like Clarissa is the best at what she does. They're picking me to go, I want to be the best at what I do. Clarissa has made me so much better right now. I have had to grow and get so much better. So I picked this one because it's like a legacy. This is my written legacy. I might be about Clarissa right now, but I'm writing my story. And PFL is it was cool that they called. I would have looked at this fight if it was a different platform, because it's a neat matchup. I don't know. I would say no to the wrong fight. Like this is a fight that I think I could win. A lot of people the winner in this. I do. I actually truly believe that I could have beat Kayla. Now, if I look at that right now, I'd be like, whoa, we got some work to do, guys. Like this is a different fight than I thought. But isn't that what fighting the unknown is? Is like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question because
because that shows you kind of person you are and the fighter you are. Just you take on the challenges, and a lot of people wouldn't want to take these unknown.
They want to stay safe. They want to build their career. Like I mean, don't you think that they picked me because they felt like I was a safe pick? 3-6, like might be a good starting point for Clarissa if you look at it until you really start looking at it. And now that you've been looking at it for 8 weeks, it's like, whoa, it might have not have been.
Yeah, but I think with your background in grappling and even though your MMA background is not an extensive background, you literally said 3-6, but it's you have experience an all-around experience where they are maybe just a specialist and they're coming in with a lot of unknowns and you're kind of the perfect person to test them.
That's what I think too. I think that's a good thing to say. I think I'm a good person to test them out on because I have the experience. And they're already so credible. Like, that might be they're making their MMA debut. This is not their first performance. Clarissa's fought in front of huge domes, of people.
Yeah.
A lot of the performing arts is under the pressure of the performing arts. They can do it in the gym, but can they do it in the moment?
Can they do it in the bright lights? And it is a different animal going up against these kind of people because they aren't fazed by the bright lights. And so they have a lot to prove, but they're the type of athletes that will rise up to the challenge. So that puts a lot of, kind of raises your level of, how do you want to say it? Like, your level of being able to compete against these people because you got to also rise up to meet them on these type of athletes. But it's also good for you in the long run because I agree. Your legacy, you get to say that you've competed against these people, these women in your sport. and not many will be able to say that they have done that. And you have an opportunity to coming up in this next week to, you know, be the spoiler of
That's what I hope.
this
I
person's
hope
you know,
that's my goal this
career.
whole week, is to not get distracted by lights. So
Yeah.
I want to perform well under them and not get distracted by the week leading up to them. I have gotten a couple of my schedules and they're not desirable. I don't want to talk to everybody from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and do my hair in front of
Yeah.
everybody while I'm eating my recovery stuff. It's not really desirable.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
not.
And you know, like that's kind of the memes with, oh, so you want to be a fighter? I do want this fight. You know, I do want this fight. I want to be successful at the mission that I'm going in there with. And I don't want to get distracted in 3 days by all the nonsense. Clarissa talks a lot from videos I've seen. I don't want to be distracted by those distractions in the interpersonal facings, because I know that's going to happen.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of pressure on her to talk a lot.
Be tough.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
you know?
be tough. And
you know what's cool is I work in boxing events, right? So I'm my boss is doing a boxing event tomorrow. I just walked the floor for it to talk, just in communication, not work. Anyway, I've seen the culture behind it, is what I got a little lost in my thought there. So I look at this boxing event and I see the culture, and these culture fighters come in for the sport of their culture, and they're all like that. They're all a bunch of Clarissas. I've been really breaking this down in the shows leading up to this, because I've been working too. And I see these boxers come in, they're dressed fancy, they look fancy, they put on this, I'm fucking the best fucking ever in the world. And I'm trying to remember that in my head, like, this is all a fucking soap opera. This is all a fucking show. I've watched 10 guys do this and that guy gets beat up too. You know, so those are the lights I'm not trying to get like drawn into and like put her on any kind of pedestal, because I've stood on the top of a pedestal too. On a platform of first place too. And I hope to be first place on this.
Of course. I think you have a really good shot, and I think you have the skills to put her in very uncomfortable positions. She's obviously going to prepare the best she can. And what has, I mean, without giving anything away or anything like that, not asking for your game plan or anything like that, but you know, she's obviously going to try to come in and, you know, prepare what she can to be defensive in certain areas. And she's going to probably want to showcase a little bit more than just her boxing. Are you prepared for her to do something like that?
So yeah, I think that there's some things that happen in fights that are real, and then there's words that you say. You know, you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to kick, and I'm going to punch, and I'm going to do this and do this and do this. But in the fight, like, we got to break it down. Like, moments happen. Like, this is a thing of, you know, seconds and inches. This is a fight of seconds and inches. If she can pull off a moving kick that she's been learning since January, go for it, dude. Because I'm going to be looking for it. You know what I mean? Don't think that I haven't been drilling for that open side, close side kick defense to close her fucking stance defense, because I don't think she'll have perfect landing stance after that. I'm looking for her to do that. If I see it, I'm looking for her to do it again. You know, maybe I'll try to lead her into it. You know, I'm looking for her to stand in her stance to throw her power punches. I'm trying to be actively aware of what stance she's in. I've been drilling very much of what kind of attack stance I'm in, you know, so if I am not concerned with her kicks, no. I'm not concerned with her wrestling. I'm concerned with where she's standing, where her hands are. And I don't think it's a secret in game plan. She wants to be in her striking distance.
And obviously she's been training with the you know, Jacksons and all them. So she's probably going to try to adopt some Holly Holm style defensive kicks, I'm sure.
I mean, and like, what fighter? Tell me a fighter I fought that hasn't had those dangerous weapons.
Right? Yeah.
You know, like I also have dangerous weapons I've never showcased, because I don't think I placated into the fighter that does me a good service. I think I tried to be a boxer when it was like boxing class day, and I tried to be a kickboxer on kickboxing class day, and then I tried to go into sparring and be like, I learned this in kickboxing, but I never really tried to be Brittney Elkin. And what I did good. And I have this kick from that, but you know, so I think what I think doesn't matter. I think it's like, can this bitch actually kick me? You know what I mean? And if she can kick me, can it lead into my game? I hope so. You know, so that's how my mind does it. I look at it like with a little joking attitude to try to keep it light, but I'm being a realist. Like, I still struggle. I've been in 12 years, and tell me how I set up a kick perfectly to land in a showcase. I'm not Rose Namajunas or Valentina. So I don't think she can just adopt Holly's style, but I'll be looking for it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, as far as what the future holds for you, you have this fight is a big fight, probably the biggest fight of your career on the main event. You're most likely probably going to still compete in jiu-jitsu and continue that and work in combat sports. But what does the future hold for you? Win or lose this fight, are you looking to continue and pursue a career in MMA, or is it just kind of like we'll see what happens in this fight?
Well, I'm looking at June 10th where my mind has gone, and my daydreaming questions is, if I choose the career to be a career fighter, I don't want to have jobs. Yeah. Like, I don't want to have other commitments that are formidable incomes. I would like, that to be my income, which is a hard development, so it's hard to do a bunch of things. I might want to help fighters on their path, maybe not manage fighters, but help develop them as a personable role to like gain some sponsors and forward efforts. I might do that in a team effort. I want to maybe teach kids. I've been really kind of into teaching kids. I don't really care to teach adults. They ask too many questions. But I have an operations manager job at the 2300 arena running events for boxing, and I'm still in that position, even though I took 8 weeks off. And then Fight to Win offered me my tour operations job back. So I have plenty of options. I love what I do.
And do you have a passion for that too? The production side of it,
I love putting on shows. I'm pretty fucking good at it. I love talking to the people. I like being like the girl with all the answers.
And those jobs, Joe's jobs, are not easy to come by either. I mean, a lot of jobs in MMA or combat sports are just not easy to come by on any platform, really. Yeah.
I think I just kind of was a high school kid that made my life up, on the back of the school bus. Like, I'm going to live in New York City and be a tour girl. Yeah. But yeah, no, I have a lot of options. I'm very thankful for that. And I feel like no matter which way the direction I pick, I have a good, MMA got me here to all these roles that I just listed off to you.
Yeah. And the card is great. You have Anthony Pettis on the card. You have can you believe that? That's pretty cool, right?
I couldn't believe it. It's surreal.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the event's going to be huge. It takes place next week, and it's going to be really a sight to see. I think it's going to be a fun event. I think your fight's going to be something that everybody's going to be watching. But I think you have a really good shot to spoil this whole thing for Clarissa. I think so.
Me too. I really believe that. I'm not just saying that to look cool. And I'm trying to say that so I don't want to convince anybody else. I'm not trying to convince myself. I just want to remember why I'm saying that is because I actually believe it. I've done a lot of work to get to this. And I just got to, in my opinion, close that distance properly.
Awesome. Do you have any sponsors you like that are helping out for this fight? And if you want to shout them out and all that.
I want to give a special thanks. My corner has traveled long distance. They've all three been very huge influence in my life. Brianna Fasori, Brad Larson, and Jed Regabuto. But a special thanks to Zach Samakovsky that's done a ton of MMA work with me and won't be in the corner, who you will see in a future corner if I do fight. I wouldn't want to do it without him. The 10th Planet crew, my roommate David Weintraub brought me down there, and I've had incredible united success. So thanks, guys. Punch Gunk, I'm wearing one of my sponsors, but I have about 13 sponsors, everything from Expedition Coffee. You'll see me repping 2300 Arena in the cage and Hustle Athletics. I can't even remember all egg weights. So I that's the kind of things I want to do in the future, is help fighters get these things that have helped me get here. So I have an incredible list of fight support, and I can't thank them enough. So thanks. Anybody that's helped me, thank you. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show, and I really appreciate it. We appreciate it, and we look forward to your fight. And it's on June 10th at the Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. So, all right. Best of luck to you, and And best of luck to your future, and then we'll hopefully speak again.
Yeah, have a wonderful day and nice to meet you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
for your time.
Thank you. Take your time.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. And that was Brittney Elkin. Thank you to her for being on the show. Thank you for PFL for setting that up. It's great. Great guest. And man, we're going to really enjoy that fight. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah. Super excited for that fight.
Yeah. Clarissa Shields. And I mean, props to her for making the jump from boxing to MMA. We've seen it happen a couple of times and it hasn't really turned out well.
It's a harder task. I think just because they have to worry about the leg kicks,
yeah, or
elbows, and then the ground game.
Perfect example. We had like James Toney coming over and he was taken out in like a minute 30.
I remember that fucking that ankle pick. That's it.
Yeah. But Clarissa at least has done it well and gone to the training at least and gone to Jackson's and training with Holly Holm and all that. And Brittney is a longtime, practitioner of mixed martial arts and a physical specimen herself, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting show. So best of luck to Brittney. Thank you for being on the show. All right. This weekend, you do have some UFC, so let's get to the fight picks for this weekend, and we'll wrap it up. So LFA has an event this weekend. There's UFC Fight Pass. You have KSW, KSWTV.com, so check that out. UFC 189, Rozenstruik versus Sakai. That's a 189 Fight Night 189, not pay-per-view 189. You have Montana Del Rosa, who just had to pull out of her fight, and Tabitha Hesse, who was a former guest on the show, is replacing her, and making her UFC debut against Ariana Lipski. That's on the undercard. Leah Latifi is on the undercard. You have, although I could be wrong about that switch, but Tabitha Hesse is added to the card. Antonio Arroyo, Tom Breeze is kicking off the main card. Grigory Rodriguez and Dusko Todorov and a bunch of other fighters are on this main card. Walt Harris and Marcin Tybura is your co-main event. But Rozenstruik versus Sakai is your main event. Heavyweight matchup. Who do you like in that one?
Sakai.
You like Sakai in that one? Yeah. I like Sakai too. I think he's I think Rozenstruik has a better stand-up, but Sakai is a better all-around, tougher guy, and I see him kind of
he has more tools in his toolbox, for sure.
And then Walt Harris against Tybura. This is probably a do or die for Walt. Even with his tragedy and all that, this past December, he's lost his last two fights. If he loses this one, I wouldn't necessarily think they cut him, but it doesn't put him in. It basically puts his back up against the wall.
Yeah.
So Walt Harris versus Tybura, who Tybura I think has grown to be.
He's improved for sure.
He's improved a lot.
Tybura.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's an execution.
Yeah.
They're going to cut him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you may not know, his stepdaughter was killed, and he had like this past fall, right?
Yeah.
She went missing and all that stuff, and then so he was out for a while.
Similar to Victor Belfort, right?
Yeah.
And his sister.
Similar, but at least, they never found Vitor's sister. And then he came back 2 fights, lost them both. And so, yeah, and it's unfortunate, but yeah.
I don't see him winning this fight.
Just quick mention before we head out. So, yeah, what do you think about that Ostovich and Paige Van Zandt?
I can't stand Paige Van Zandt. I can't stand that bitch.
You have two of the best looking UFC fighters and female fighters, and
she's do porn.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rachel hasn't. I think they both have OnlyFans accounts. I don't think it's like porno style, but
No,
But two of the best looking ones are not in the UFC anymore. They're recently cut. Now they're going to bare knuckle. So both of them are going to fight in a bare knuckle boxing match.
Imagine you're going to pick one. Who would it be?
Pick on that one.
I know. I know.
Damn, Rachel's so fucking hot.
I know. And then you have.
Let me fight them both.
Okay, and then obviously Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Yeah. So picks Logan.
Oh, Logan.
Mayweather.
Logan. I mean, sorry, Mayweather.
Mayweather. I go with Mayweather decision. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're all in agreement here.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I picked Rachel over
You pick Rachel?
Van Zandt.
I don't know if they're fighting this weekend, but that just got announced though.
Oh, okay.
But I think I agree. I'll probably yeah.
The Wonder Woman, remember? Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
so
oh, yeah,
fucking
that's right.
sexy.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Remember Bravus beer,
Complex 10
Complex
gives you 10%
10.
off.
or Complex, and gets you 10% off. There you go. And thank you, Tomas, for being here too. And
Welcome, guys.
and
Thanks for having me here today.
of course, I wish we should have mic'd you up. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tell me we should have mic'd you up.
I don't do well with
You said you didn't want to. You said you didn't want to talk, and then
I don't do well with the big balls in my mouth.
He has a very long, strong voice.
yeah. There you go.
That's
Hopefully, I'm sure a catch.
Yeah, I'm pretty loud.
Yeah.
All Puerto Rican.
All right. That's our show. So thank you guys for watching. Go to MMA Complex all over iTunes, YouTube, and give us a like and comment.
Yeah, and then next week we'll break down the circus of Logan Paul and Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, enjoy your fights, enjoy the week.